morning, everyone. Okay, so this morning I had a very, very good question asked to me, and I thought, well, I might as well do a live because this is too good not to share with everyone. So they asked me, Hazy, so I couldn't help but see the post that you just put on your profile and you pinned it, and damn, I had no idea, Z. I had no idea what you've invested in yourself to do what you're doing right now. And I was like, yeah, most people don't know. And it really hit me to where in the morning I'm starting to read certain thought leaders, that think a little different outside the box. And some book that a friend of mine gifted me maybe like 2-3 years ago is 365 Laws of Power, Robert Greene. And in one of those, it really, really shares with individuals, and it shares with people that are just going through it, that's how power works. Power is only gifted to those that are willing to go through the transformation, that are willing to plug in and plug out of the everyday thinking. And that's literally what I had to go through. But it's interesting that everybody looks at the chapter with the glitter or what you're able to do and how you think and how you show up and how you behave and how you act. But few people, if any, start to think like, well, what happened to get them there? What happened to get them to the point where they're like, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to put boundaries. I'm going to start doing this with my day. I'm going to start waking up 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., right? Like top of the morning. And so it's so beautiful, just the thought that it's in the struggle, right? In the challenge is where the character is built. And it very much talks to like the hero's journey. And that's exactly what this is, people that you look to lead the way, to tell you like, damn, to inspire you and to give you a little bit of what it is that they've been through. I feel also comes along with the responsibility. And for me personally, as I go through this journey and I've been documenting it and sharing it publicly, is that the journey has not been easy. If anything, the journey has been extremely painful, like very, very painful. I think more than average, it's been painful. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I know that it's just preparing me for what's to come. It's preparing me for the next level, the next challenge of whatever it might be, right? And so when people ask Z, how is it that you're so really well developed with understanding people and understanding how to run a team and how to keep people motivated and inspired and passionate about your mission and what it is that you're doing on an everyday basis with the company, with your efforts, with your stamina, and with your your status on social media. And so to that I say it's not even about that. It's of understanding the three main components. One, do I wake up every day just as excited as the other day to do what I'm doing? I might be tired, but I'm still excited, right? I might be a bit worried or anxious about other things I have to do in the day, but I still show up, right? Just as excited with no less enthusiasm. To me, that definition of success makes so much sense, which is it's going from failure to failure to failure with no less enthusiasm. Ooh. And I couldn't agree more that sits with me so well. That is just where it's at. And another thing to really, really consider is the following. Who has your ear has your future. And I've thought about this very, very much. And for the longest, I allowed individuals to be around me that had a 2-penny mindset versus $1 million mindset. And I had to ask myself, why do I feel out of place? Why do I feel like my ideas are so big or so outrageous that they're not being seen, they're not being heard, they're not being understood by these 2-cent mind people? Well, it's because I didn't understand there was a difference in the bank. There was a difference of what they were depositing versus what I was depositing, right? And you have to understand that over time, that if you're not around other people, or if you're the one that's still growing that mindset around $1 million mindset people, then, right, you have to consider where is it that you're putting your time, where are you investing it? These are just thoughts I have, right, like on an everyday, but it didn't come easily. It's a muscle you have to build every day to be like, well, what is it that I want to do? Who am I? Who do I want to become? What will that take? And where am I at in this process? Keeping it real with yourself and just being like, well, here's where I'm at with this. I may not be there completely, but I'm working on it, right? That's just being honest with yourself. And I feel like when we lie to ourselves as humans, when we lie to our status, to our higher being, or to our soul, we have no problem lying to other people about where we're at too, right? It happens in relationships. It's funny, but I tend to see very much the same patterns that happen in business as it happens, hi there, with sales, with marketing, with any part of your business. It happens in relationships too. So the type of relationship, first and foremost, that you have with yourself is a relationship you're going to have with other people, and you're going to have in your business with your team members, people that you hire, contractors, people that hire you, right? And how you're showing up in the world. If you can't see it for what it is, then, well, other people might bring it to your attention and you're not going to like it. It's going to be in clients complaining. It's going to be in chargebacks. It's going to be in fights you have, right? Conflict, unresolved conflict that you have in the workplace that makes it super, super uncomfortable for other people, right? How do you handle conflict? Conflict is not a bad thing. Conflict is actually a good thing because it helps you understand further what is the investment emotionally or cognitively that the other party has with you for X thing. And most of the time, I love conflict, especially when we have it on the team, right? Like, no, I don't think we should launch this day. I think we should launch, next week or whatnot. I love that type of conflict because it shows me that they're invested, that they've thought it through, and that they are leading with thoughts, and that they are stepping into their leadership within their position. That's what we want. You don't want people that just say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You don't want that in your work. You don't want that on your team. You don't want that in the workplace. And you definitely don't want yes, sirs or yes, ma'ams in your life either. I don't really jive with that. I like people that are free thinkers and people that say, you know what, Z, I feel you on that, and I have another idea. Not the but people either, right? You want the and, that it's like, hey, you know what? That's a crazy idea, and I think maybe we might want to try this first before we jump off the cliff, right? Because I'm a mover. That's just the way I am. I'm an 8 when it comes to Enneagrams. And everybody that meets me, they're like, damn, Z, you just move. Like, you think about things and you move. And, I've realized over time in having a balance of individuals on the team or helping me lead or helping me invest in certain things, that when you think things through completely and utterly, it will do 2 things for you. 1, it'll help you see all sides, hi there, and or it will help you understand further of what you might be missing, right? And there's no bad or good. That's the thing. Like, when you get into entrepreneurship, it's a game. Literally, it's like you're playing Monopoly, except you're playing with a business, right? The game of entrepreneurship is no joke. Like, this is something that if I had known from the very beginning, I probably would have chose it again, but I would have played it very, very differently. I'm way past 10 years in the game. And now when people ask me certain questions like, Z, would you throw in every single dime again the way you have, right? Because I've thrown in every single penny I've ever made. Like, I'm talking about down to the penny that I have ever made into my business, into my businesses, right? I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Like, no, I'm not sorry. Not sorry. Because it's been worth it to me, because it's built the character that I am today. It has built the character I have. It has built every single thing that I have ever needed to get through what I have gone through. And that's what people don't know. That's what people don't see, right? Only certain people that are sacred get to have that VIP ticket, that front row seat to get you to watch your butt being kicked in entrepreneurship. When payroll can't be made, right? When 3 people quit on you in the same month. When somebody does you wrong and says, you know what, I bought this off of you. I'm going to download every single piece of this digital product that you created. And then in less than 24 hours, I'm going to ask for my money back through a chargeback, even though I used everything you made. And I'm going to continue to use it. Yes. Every single one of these things I have lived, right? I have lived through individuals saying, absolutely, this is a great idea. Let's partner. And then come to find out this partner doesn't have their ish together in their own life. And then you have to figure it out how to come through for the client, right? I have been there. I've been there in my personal life when people start things and they never finish because they're not determined, they're not dedicated to it just the way I am. And so here's the tip I'm giving for entrepreneurship. If you haven't worked on yourself internally, right, your self-development, it's going to pop out in entrepreneurship. It's going to slap you across the face twice from here to Sunday. It's going to come up and you're going to be like, well, shit, I didn't see that coming. You're right. You didn't see it coming. That's happened to me a couple times, and I'm so grateful for those moments because now I can sit back and laugh at them and be like, well, damn, there's a thought, right? There's something that I didn't even consider that I still needed to work on. And there's something that comes up, from time to time for all of us. But the thing is, how much awareness and consciousness do we actually have about it, right? And here it is. I wrote about this actually on Facebook. And if y'all haven't followed me on Facebook, y'all are missing out because it's comedy, yo. It's comedy. Like, I'm literally dropping things every single day, like in the moment that happened, where I'm like, well, that just happened. Right? Because I truly believe in transparency. It's one of my core values, and honesty, right? About entrepreneurship isn't this great all-time everything's rainbows and butterflies. It's really not, On social media, a lot of people, they tend to add glitter to the mix, like in Spanish we say le echan crema a los tacos, like they add just a little bit of extra little something to shine it up. And I love that, like I love doing photo shoots, I love doing lives, I love doing all these things, but at the end of the day, it's the behind the scenes that people really want to know, to be like, well, what do I do if I have an upset client? What do I do if I get sued? What do I do if my partner that I just started the startup with actually quits on me 6 months in? Yeah, those are the real things. That's the real. And so the link to my Facebook profile to follow is in the link in bio. So make sure to hit that and then follow. And then you can join in the crowd and be like, Z, girl, how does all these things happen to you? Like, I feel like I'm watching a novela. Like, you probably are. And that's what makes it so interesting, right? Because I don't lie about it. I tell people, and I tell them as much as I can, of course, given legalities, given non-disclosures, given the privacy of that specific relationship, right? I also don't kiss and tell, but I will tell you that there's so many lived experiences that I've had now that you can come at your girl and ask her, and it's like on Wikipedia of everything that can go wrong and really well in business. I feel like it's been awakening for me, right? It's like an awakened CEO, an awakened founder that literally has been through shit from here to Timbuktu Sunday. And now I can share with everyone and be like, yep, I've been through that situation. Yep, that one. I ran a whole company after my father died. Dang, that was something. So I've literally lived through that. I've lived through grief. I've loved and lost. And this is just keeping it real, because when you're in entrepreneurship and when you are a business, when you are leading in some type of way, there's really no off day. Even if you're taking a rest day, a me day, fill my cup day, whatever. At the end of the day, the leader part of you does not lead you. It doesn't step outside the bath. It doesn't step outside the massage room. It doesn't step outside the yoga studio, whatever it might be, right? I'm just dropping some of the things that I like to do when it's me day. It doesn't leave you, When you are a leader, that leader follows you everywhere you go, even in shit moments. Even in moments where you're like, oof, your back's against the wall and you just think to yourself, okay, I need to go back to my leadership principles, and I want to do well by that person, me, and whoever else is involved. And even if it means me taking a backseat or taking a step back or taking a hit, taking one for the team, I have to ask myself, is this in alignment with my principles and values? You know what? Usually if you aren't in alignment, it's going to feel really tough to make that decision that may not be the right decision or the wrong decision, but ultimately it's you making a decision. That's the hardest part, because when you're leading, sometimes the decisions you need to make, and you need to make them, whether you like to or not, on the spot, you need to be like, okay, here's the direction we're going. People like to know that there is leadership wherever it is that they are looking or they are following, right? This is what separates the shepherd from the sheep, straight up, right? I have known since I was a little girl, I ain't no sheep. I've never been a sheep. I've been quiet, I've been kind, I've been graceful, and I've been respectful. But never underestimate that for me being a sheep. And you know how I know I'm not a sheep? Many of you are also not a sheep, and this is why we vibe. This is why we connect, right? We know we're not a sheep because if somebody tells us something, we have an open mind and a critical thinking to be like, wait a minute, the math ain't math and something doesn't add up here. Something's off, right? And it's sad, but it's true. Like in school, right? In basic college, university, and even down to the grade levels, which is sad, right? Like they teach us not to question certain things, right? A friend of mine actually sent me a video this morning. And the video they sent me literally is saying that the definition of multiplication, right, is to make more, is to add in value and to multiply. That's why it's called multiplication. 1 times 1 equals 1. It doesn't make more. So that right there doesn't add up to the actual definition of multiplication, right? It was Terrence Howard. Ooh, such an amazing actor and such a mind-blowing, just visionary of how things actually work in the world that, we're lied to many times. We are lied to about multiple things of the way things work in this world. And one of the number one things that we are lied to is that we are not empowered beings, that we are not infinite, that we are not free thinkers, that we have to ask permission for the left and right foot to move, that we have to ask permission to beat ourselves, that we have to ask permission to do what it is we desire and live the life that is of our dream. Such big ideas, but a lot of people may not even consider these. And the reason I'm sharing this with you today is because that's the mindset that it takes to take the hits in entrepreneurship and keep going with whatever it is that you're building or that you are creating for others to join in with you to have a better life. Ultimately, when people ask you, like, Z, like, what inspires you? Why do you do this? Why do you wake up at 4 or 5 a.m., right? Like on a daily, right? Monday through Saturday. Like, why do you do that? Why? Because I am so damn motivated to have more than my ancestors did because they broke their backs to give me what I have today, right? The women that were treated extremely poorly in my bloodline, down to my great-grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-grandmother, and her grandma, and my mom, right? And all the women in my family that have been treated with respect and treated as if they have a voice or a vote, right? They deserve better. They deserve for me to step up and be like, you know what? I ain't the one and not today. I ain't the one, not today. And so I share this with you all vulnerably because this is what gets me up. This is what inspires me to know that I deserve better. My future daughters and sons that I haven't had yet deserve better. And that is the legacy I am leaving behind, a better future. They are getting a much more healed mother than I got, or that my mother got, or that my grandmother got, right? Healing and having a soul that is ascending and learning and growing is one of the most valuable assets that I can provide for the future generations that I am creating, not only biologically, but that I am creating within my community, that I am building day by day. People that meet me or people that have a spoken word with me, they're like, Z, like, this is very inspiring. Amen. You are correct. This is inspiring because I am in true alignment and I am in purpose and I fully understand. This ain't about me. This ain't even about you. This is about the collective. This is about us healing together, about rising together and waking the fuck up. Waking up to things that we are told and that we are taught in school. We're taught by our wounded parents. We're taught by communities. We're taught by people that are supposed to protect us, but they don't really. They keep us imprisoned mentally. They keep us spiritually down at a frequency that keeps us in fear and doubt. And these are some of the main reasons, y'all. These are some of the main reasons I don't listen to the news. I don't listen to the radio. I don't stick my head in the sand. I want to be clear. I am fully aware of what's going on in the world. However, I pick and choose what it is that I choose to feed my mind or poison. And I don't want poison. I want something that's going to inspire and uplift the collective and my being. So, hope this was helpful. If there's any specific question you guys have for me, I'm happy to jump on a live and answer the question. Shoot me a DM with it and I'll be like, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And thanks for watching. Bye.